been a while. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of B is for Build. In today's episode, we're gonna get the Raptor fixed up and driving around on all fours. Stay tuned. Got an absolutely beautiful weather day to be working out here in Oregon, and we're gonna take full advantage of that. But before we jump into what we got left to do, I need to update you on what's been done. Oscar came out and worked on the lower control arm mounting bracket that was bent. Enjoy the footage. What all that was about was adjusting this front one, so these are both bent back out so they're straight, and then coming over here to this rear one where we had to do a little bit more surgery, and we're not quite done. We're able to salvage the front side of this bracket. Sorry, I know it's dark. Front side of this bracket. On the left side of the bracket, what we did was we got some 9 or 10 gauge steel, and we built a we had to build a replacement piece which was then welded in. And that replacement piece is pretty tricky because it does run back and it gets bolted in as well. I have no idea if you guys can see any of this, but so it gets bolted into the cross member that goes to the other side as well, so there's kind of some redundancy there, and then it's welded up to the top up here. It's not the 100% ideal fix that we would have. It would have been better if we could have bent stuff back, but it just absolutely wasn't possible because the metal was a little bit too mangled. So I think we're at a good spot, but I do want to point out that this is not the ideal fix. And I'll even go a step further and say that if I would have seen the damage done to the lower control arm brackets before I bought this truck, I probably wouldn't have bid on this truck because I don't have the tooling necessary to fix it. So I think that's important to say. And the only reason that I'm okay with this repair, we are going to continue to actually reinforce it. That's what our plan for later today is. We're going to actually reinforce that a little bit more, but I'm okay with it because we have redundancy. We have the front section that's still all there. We have the other half of the mount that's still all there. Then we have our welded piece that's welded in, and if something goes wrong with that, that's also bolted into the cross member. So if something happens, it's not going to just be a split second, all of a sudden the vehicle is out of control. It's going to be, hey, there's a weird noise or a wobble from our passenger side wheel, and it's something that needs to be inspected. So if I can in the future find a new pocket from another frame from one of these vehicles, I 100% promise, guys, I will head over to whatever junkyard with my cutoff wheel. I'll cut that pocket off the other frame and we'll come over here and we'll weld a new one back in. I think that's the right way to do this at this stage, but I just could not find one. So we're welding in the other half of the tab, but I think it's just really important when you have any steering stuff like this, anything that is in charge of trying to hold these front wheels steady so you can steer, it's important to, at the very least, you need to have redundancy. So if something goes wrong, it doesn't go really wrong really fast. And I'm 100% confident that that won't happen because of our repair for any reason. And what we're going to do is, we're going to use this thing, we're going to put it through its paces, and we'll just continue to just do visual inspection on it. It's something that we can see right over the tire. We can just look into the wheel well, say, is that thing still looking good? Yes, no, and then we can continue on. If it starts to get bent out of shape, then we know we got to stop using this vehicle right away and find a new frame section. So, moving on, we need to go ahead now and start reassembling our whole world. All right, we've got our lower control arm bolted up. We've got our shock bolted into that. We went ahead and pulled the air line off of the four-wheel drive locker, and then we've got our new knuckle, or our new used knuckle, kind of all prepped up. So a lot of you Ford guys were kind enough to give me the tip that we need to pull vacuum on this thing. So this is the one that came on our vehicle. This is the one that came on our knuckle. A lot of you guys were kind enough to let me know that you got to pull vacuum on this guy. So you can see right here, there's these two little nipples. When you pull vacuum on it, it sucks this thing down. Sorry, I can't do it very well right now, but it pulls it back down. And that has something to do with this axle and the way that it mates up to the axle. And essentially, if you don't pull that vacuum, I was told that a lot of these will break and you might not be able to automatically jump into four-wheel drive anymore, and they'll start clicking, make bad noises. So I was trying to figure out the best way to pull vacuum. I bought a vacuum pump, I was playing around with all these different things. It's way more simple than that. We're gonna go ahead and unplug this hose that came on this one. We're gonna plug in the hose that's on the vehicle. When you turn the vehicle into the auxiliary mode, not auxiliary, what am I thinking of? Accessory mode, or you turn the vehicle on, it will automatically pull vacuum on this, and then you can safely install your knuckle on your axle. At least I believe. Double check the comments for people to double check my back, but I did test it multiple times. We turn the vehicle on, it pulls vacuum onto this thing and sucks it back, and it holds it there the whole time that the vehicle is running. So that is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and start getting this thing, you know, the knuckle on top of the control arm and the upper control arm, and then we'll go ahead and turn it on and we'll pull vacuum on that and then get it slipped over the axle. Everything was going great and we had a good game plan. It was going to be a quick job until I remembered I have to replace this CV boot. Eric the car guy has a great explanation of when to replace CV boots, when not to, etc, etc, when to replace the whole axle. Why is that bird so So I will link to Eric the car guy's episode in the description below if you guys want to learn more about that. In my opinion, when you have a newer car like this and you... Let's kill that bird. In my opinion, when you have one that's torn from an accident like this, it's best to go ahead and try and do the replacement of the boot, grease it up, use it. And if it starts clicking, then just go ahead and replace your axle. The CV boot repair kit or replacement kit was only 20 bucks. I figure it's worth the try. That boot replacement went really, really well. Thanks, Eric the car guy, for making that awesome video. That's the first time I've actually done that, and it was great. So now we can carry on. We did see that we're gonna need to kind of slot the axle into the knuckle first, bolt up a couple things, but then remember, before you fully seat it, you wanna pull vacuum on that weird four-wheel drive clicky thingy, and then we'll just keep bolting it up. We got the knuckle on here and we got the axle shot through there, and it seems to be working right. So right now when I move this, it moves the axle with it because the car is off. It's lost its vacuum and it's kind of hooked itself into four-wheel drive mode. And then when we turn the car on and it gets vacuum again, it goes back into two-wheel drive mode. So that's good. So the next thing we're gonna go ahead and do is button up our knuckle, start to tighten everything down for the knuckle, and install the rotor and things like that. Alright, we've got everything bolted up for our kind of initial shakedown. We're going to be unbolting all this sometime soon to reinforce that lower control arm mount, but we've got our new CV boot, we've got our new steering tie rod end. I still need to put a nut on the bottom of that. We got to harvest that and grab that. And then we're going to go ahead and throw our wheels on, our new wheels and tires. Now, our lug nuts are this kind of raw aluminum. They're a little bit screwed up. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pop the lug nuts off and give them a spray down of just a satin black so they won't stand out as much. Spray painting lug nuts, you know, it's not a really long-term solution, but if you're very gentle with your lug nuts and you're not taking your wheels and tires off very often, these aren't aluminum, they're magnetic. These must be steel or something. They've corroded like aluminum. Maybe they're stainless, I don't know. They're very magnetic. Anywho, Spray painting them isn't a great long-term solution, but I have had plenty of builds where I've spray painted them and they still haven't like chipped or started to look weird or anything like that after like a year or so of use. So it's definitely a thing you can do. So anyways, we're gonna do that for cosmetic reasons until I can get another set that kind of look a little bit better. All right, we got the wheel and tire bolted on. It's about to move under its own weight for the first time. I'm really excited for this moment. I want to just give another quick shout out to our sponsors. We got Mamba wheels with these M19s, 17-inch wheel in the bronze, and then we have our Nitto trail grapplers here in 35 by 12.5. Both of these companies, I'm going to put a link in the description just to keep it short and sweet. They make really good products at economical pricing. I love to find that little sweet spot on stuff where it still is really good, it's reputable, it works well, and you can trust it, but it also doesn't break the bank, and that's exactly what these guys do, and they do it very well. So thank you to them for hooking us up. Now we're gonna go ahead and start it up, and we're gonna pull it out. We're gonna move the FJ, we're gonna pull it out, and then we're gonna pull it back in here. So we're gonna get it off the jacks and all that good stuff. And then we're gonna pull it back in here and swap out the other wheels and tires. We are ready to go for our very first drive. We're not gonna go too far. I can't pull the whole race car registration thing with this thing. It's clearly not a race car. But we're suited up. We're just gonna do a trip up and down the street. We're insured. We're ready to rock. Let's do it. Here we go. Ready to hear some supercharger. I have a small boulder at the end of my driveway to block the water main, and the first thing I did was just smash it with the truck. I'll figure out this big truck thing shortly. Don't you worry, guys. I think we need to get the alignment slightly altered just a little bit. This is driving straight right now. But other than that, it feels pretty good. I want to hear supercharger things. Supercharged things! That was awesome. Oh man, that sound is awesome. It dropped a gear pretty quick there. Man, sorry you guys can't see anything over the steering wheel. Ah, there's another car on the road where I'm too big. Wide body truck, not necessary. All right, I want to do more supercharger noises. Here we go. Man, that back end squats down. It feels so weird. We didn't get a lot of supercharger sounds out of that. All right, we're out here in the jungles of Mexico, and we have found some dirt and some grooves and a small boulder to traverse. I don't know, there's actually there might be some real stuff over here. And a small hill. This will be a very small initial test of some of our Raptor fixes. Well, we're just gonna drive through this as fast as we can. To preserve the location of where Mexico may and may not be geographically, I apologize, but we're gonna have some bad camera angles. All right, away we go. To turn left now, you just keep the wheel straight and make sure we get a good chunk of that boulder. No Mexican police. Here we go. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, Jesus. We did it. It was short and sweet. I don't know what I was really expecting. You can't really tell what the hell's going on. Very good, very good. I want to hear more supercharger sounds. If you guys listen closely, I think you might hear a burnout. I honestly think this truck is doing burnouts when I floor it, but here we go. Jesus, that sounds so mean. Oh, that's awesome. Is that thing ever gonna shift for me or what? All right, after some first level inspections, our control arm mounts are in the same place as when we started. It's a good sign. So that was a lot of fun, but the majority of the reasoning behind this, I mean, we wanted to stress test those lower mounts, which was pretty fun. We did a lot of driving off camera, but it's just kind of up and down the neighborhood. So we stress tested those lower mounts a little bit, and then also I just needed to get this thing on all fours so we could move it. I need to get it closer to the shop so I can plug into the 220 outlet for some of the upcoming stuff that we're gonna do to reinforce that lower control arm mounting brace. So that's kind of what's going on. I did want to let you guys know though, I have decided we are facelifting. we're facelifting. We're going Gen 2 facelift on this baby. It's gonna stay blue. There's gonna be no Raptor liner, and we are going to facelift it. One of the reasons being that I found out this fender is actually not a stock Raptor fender. It's an aftermarket widened fender. So I bought I bought 2 fenders for this car, and if I had to get another one of these, it was gonna be the 3rd, and I decided, you know what, I'd rather just push it a little bit, have a little bit more creativity, and push it to the Gen 2. So we're gonna do a Gen 2 facelift on this thing and keep it all blue, and I think it'll be really cool. That's also another reason that I went with the 35s rather than sticking with 37s, because I think 35s look better on that Gen 2 face rather than a 37. So anyways, that's what's going on. We're gonna keep working on this thing because the Lambo's off at paint and we ain't got shit else to do. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you so much. If you want to help out and support, head over to bsforbuild.com. All of our merch is there. If not, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace! Come on.